Hi everyone, today is a continuation of Death, Loss and Grief. In part 4, last time we were listening to a mother who was sharing a story of what she went through when she lost a child. Today we are looking at those scenarios when they occur psychologically. In other words, we are trying to interpret what parents go through when facing the loss of a child. Losing a child is referred to as ultimate tragedy because parents experience intense emotion, psychological, and physical pain where one feels that can only exist and every emotional need beyond that seems nearly impossible. It is viewed as against human nature to bury one child. There are other saying that says it is violation of human rule of life. The death of loved one often comes with devastating consequences for those left behind. Why is losing a child so painful? As you heard, the radio shared the story in part 4 saying, these slides are going to tell us or to explain more. Why is it very painful for a parent to bury a own child? It is believed that mothers carry like like one who carries the eggs in one basket. Even those who are very far away, the parents are constantly thinking about them. When one child is unwell or has maladaptive behaviors, or even the children who would be in prison, the parents forget those other children that are okay and they focus their mind the child that need their help. And they become worse when loss occurs. The parent focus their own emotions to that child. Trauma is often intense, memory and hope harder to let go. The death of a child brings with it rich and difficult, ongoing challenges for the individual and the whole family. It is believed that when one loses the parents, you lose the past. When one loses sibling, a brother or sister, you lose the past and the future. But when you lose a child, you lose the future. And you know the future is what gives everyone hope. Because this child you gave birth to, there were a lot of dreams, visions about the child, about their successes, their responsibilities, about the future. For the parent who have lost a child, the uncertainty can be unbearable and the pains are undescribable. They suffer depression, anger, guilt, despair, loneliness, intense shock, confusion, disbelief, denial, and overwhelming sadness. Even facing daily tasks, even getting out of bed, it seems impossible. Classical grief response is experienced where trauma is more intense, more memories, and hope harder to let go. People experience the loss of meaning of the life. Sometimes people or those who have lost their children, it pushes them to the clinical depression where the help can only be administered through drugs because their poor well-being, health problems, and worse mental distraction. There are those who experience major depression to complicated grief, impair the ability to function. It goes up to psychosis, which is mental disorder and even eating disorder. And if it gets worse, there are those who lose the meaning of their life after they lose the child, their only hope, and they feel they can only resort to suicide. For the parents who have lost children, the symptoms can be unbearable and the pains are indescribable. You cannot describe the pain of losing a child. The anger, guilt, and despair, all those cannot go without mentioning. Facing daily tasks, getting out of bed seems impossible. You ask yourself, what am I waking up to do? To work for who? Classical grief, it can also be experienced, which is response where trauma is more intense, memories and a hope harder to let go. There are biological effects of losing a child, as we listened or we heard from the story of the last part 4. There are those people physically experience stomach pains, muscle cramps, headache, insomnia, which is lack of sleep, irritability, bile syndrome, immune disorder, cancer, and long-term genetic change of the lower cerebral brainstem. There's those who experience blood clot, broken heart syndrome, heart attack, including crushed chest. There are those who get affected in the brain, where the processing of the brain and the neurobiological are also affected, causing the death of some of the brain cells and hormones. Some part of the brain, which is posterior cortex and the frontal cortex, which are responsible for emotional impulse control, can also get affected. So, thinking, processing of the mind, the cognition function, which is linked with the appetite and sleep, get affected. So we can imagine how it is or what one goes through when you lose the child. You only look at the person, but there are all those activities that one is experiencing and one is going through. So now after all this, let us look at some of the self-report or some of the finding of the parents that we asked what they experienced, what we lost their children, so that you can identify or you can just capture the feelings of some of them, what they go through. Some said even years later, they cannot wait until their own death. There are those who say that they centered their thoughts and yearn for even 5 minutes to go back and be with that child alive. Confusion and questioning about sanity, if one is okay, you feel as if you are going out of your mind. There is some reported feeling guilty powerlessness of having not protected their children. Some felt it is time even to stop living a normal life and either have divorce or separate from their spouses. There are others who reported that it was indescribable pain to helplessly watch a child struggle or fight with death. One reported that the eyes and mind thinking like the whole body and died with their children or with their child when they saw the lifeless body of that child lying there. There's one said it's a part of self went with the child down to the grave, said she or he no longer live as used to live before. One reported that he withdrawn from everyone and went to his own cocoon, just wanting to journey or to walk through the journey alone, just to process and think about the child who has died. One said he kept on imagining how that child felt in their last hour. Like, was that child in pain, fear? Was the child feeling alone? And there is also one who was really concerned and worried if the child, yes, he has died, but has he gone to heaven? Is the child happy as he was happy here in the world? There is a report of losing meaning of life, feeling like a deep hole in the stomach. There is not because of that unity of the child and the mother in the home. When the child passes, one said the home, it was like it got torn into pieces. There's one who wished there would be a better place than a grave. I actually said covering this with soil, not blanket, was their worst pain. There is a report of one who lost taste and smell after losing their child. There's one who said the life the life turned around and committed to live a life that will unite her and the child. Just as if she or they thought felt that it is the end time to live a better life so that one day they will be in joy with their child in heaven. Dawn said it is now 10 years, lost sexual attraction and feelings. The girl who says she no longer feared death and developed lactose intolerance. So, from different people, you hear how difficult it was to experience the loss of their children, how they felt. But now, all said, there is tips to share with the parents who have lost their children. That way, the strand is telling us the resolution of parents' grief may seem like an overwhelming task, but it is possible. It's important to be both realistic and positive that you'll never get over the death of your child, but you'll survive it or learn to live with the loss. Because this old you can never forget, but you'll just accept it. However, you are changed by hate. You can never forget your child, neither can you forget the child dead. But for the relatives of friends, what can you do to your friends who have lost their children? If you're a foul, call them with a few words. Don't engage long conversations because they cannot even take long conversations over the phone. It is very irritable. Send them messages, hug them, be there for them when they need you. Listen and support them wherever they need. Allow them to mourn, don't push or lash them. Pray with them if they are willing. Discuss on taking a vacation. Connect them with professional help if need be. As we know, and in conclusion, that everyone who is born in this world one day must die. Painful as it is, but we have good news that despite death, God will wipe away every tears. That's the promise that's so encouraging. He will never abandon us, even during grief. You may not feel God at that time, but He's very closer to you because even He Himself knows what that trauma is. And death shall never be anymore. That's what the Bible says. No mourning, no pains, for the future things has passed away. Thank you very much. I hope you have been encouraged by this learning and you may share with anyone whom you think or you feel it might benefit. Kindly, you can refer to other videos, video 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is video 5. More are coming. It may not be death, loss, and grief. The next video, we will be looking at the suicide. Thank you very much. I wish you the best as you watch this video.